The deception that Islam is a fantastic religion for women and that it affords them such fantastic privileges is nothing short of a blatant lie and a ruse to coerce unsuspecting women to adopt this religion in hopes of enslaving them to a system of oppression and worse. Looking back at history, we can see a recurring theme from Muslim sources. At the Battle of Yarmouk in 636, an Islamic warrior, Abu Sufyan, told a group of female Arabs that, quote, "The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said women are lacking in brains and religion." This is in reference to a canonical hadith in which Muhammad also had an interaction with a group of women to whom he said, quote, "The majority of the dwellers of hellfire were you, women." When asked why, he told them, "You curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you." Sahih Bukhari. Such a wonderful outlook that the non-prophet had in regards to women. White women in particular have historically been considered a prized possession for Islam. One of the main incentives for Muslims to invade and conquer the ancient beacon of Christianity, Constantinople, was the enslavement of and desire for Byzantine white women. As to quote early Islamic sources, females of Constantinople were considered as the most shameless woman in the whole world, according to Abu Uthman al-Jahiz. He mentions how they find sex more enjoyable and are prone to adultery. Abd al-Jabbar, another prominent Islamic scholar, claims that adultery is commonplace in the cities and markets of Byzantium. So much so that even the nuns went out to the fortresses to offer themselves to the monks. These claims are unfounded and sought to justify the bloodshed, enslavement, and desire for conquest on the part of jihadis. These fantasies are in stark contrast to the truth of Byzantine women and how they conducted themselves within Constantinople and broader Christendom. The fantasies were merely in the minds of Muslim men and must be recognized for what they are, attempts to denigrate and defame a rival culture. In fact, in Byzantium, women were expected to be retiring, shy, modest, and devoted to their families and religious observances. The behavior of most women in Byzantium was a far cry from the depictions that appear in Arabic sources. Women and children were a key motivator for the continued jihad in Byzantium, as they were seen as slaves to be captured, sold, and had one's way with. Umayyads, an Arab clan that established a major caliphate from 661 to 750, particularly valued blonde or red-haired, Frank or Galician women as sexual slaves. These types of women were harder to acquire as Byzantium cities were more protected and fortified, thus making the desire for them in the minds of jihadis all the stronger. The slave emporium in Cordoba, Spain, while under Islamic occupation and Sharia law, had a reputation for selling excellent products. Slave merchants would put on ointments on slave girls of a darker complexion to whiten their faces. Brunettes were placed for 4 hours in a solution to make them blonde or golden. Ointments were placed on the face and body of black slaves to make them, quote, prettier. As for the sexual objectification at the hands of Muslims on European infidels, slave merchants would portray them as promiscuous by nature. By creating this fantasy in order to increase and help facilitate sales. A discourse according to a 12th century document goes as follows. The merchant tells the slave girls to act in a coquettish or sexually playful, flirtatious manner with the timid men among the potential buyers to make them crazy with desire, and he dresses them all in transparent clothes. Abd al-Rahman III, the caliph most associated with Al-Andalus's golden age, was said to have had 3,750 slaves and 6,300 concubines. This is just a small accounting of the absurd amount of atrocities done at the hands of jihadis who were following the glorified words of their prophet outlined in the Quran and Hadiths. Enshrined in Islamic law and Sharia's mandate is that Dar al-Islam, or the abode of Islam, must battle Dar al-Kufr, the abode of infidelity, while the Kufr, or infidels, have throughout history resisted the backwards lunatic religion of Muhammad and his murderous sex-crazed followers. The Kufr these days have welcomed them into our countries. Islam's ideology has not changed, and they will do what they have always done: steal, kill, and destroy, just like their grand architect and ultimate god, the devil. Modern sensitivity and this foolish notion that kindness, tolerance, and compassion will soothe the savage heart of this beast is nothing short of a prelude to and a desire for the extermination of your own people. But keep it up, leftists, secular humanists, and spineless kafirs. You are doing a great job.